Hello, everyone. I think it's recording now. I hope so. I'm going to be talking about the Each One Teach One event that me and my group did, with me being the leader of the group. And I'm going to be talking about some things that we could have done better, or we could have looked into a little more, and how to help uh, some individuals in the future out with some of the issues that we may have had, in hopes to help people in the future with a class like this or similar to it. So let's get started with it. So in the beginning, I don't think any of us knew what to expect for the class, for definitely for the project. I don't think any of us expected it to be super hands-on like we did or like it was. I thought maybe we do a little project with a presentation or an essay. So it was a little unexpected for all of us. But overall, I'll get to how it affected our long-term success here in a little bit. But overall, it was very eye-opening with a lot of learning experiences built into that, built into the class itself, built into the project, and how all of us took on different challenges and ran with it. So I did volunteer to be the leader, without even knowing what to expect going forward for my team or myself, not knowing that I would have to communicate almost every day with my team and communicate with the board that we were working with Each One Teach One, and Dr. Slareth as well. So I didn't know what to expect. I looked nothing into the project and was just like, hey, I'll start the group chat, and went from there. So in the beginning, there were two subgroups. Dr. Schlereth recommended it, and we ended up doing it with the marketing and sales group. And for the sales group, they focused on finding attendees for our event. So we had them go to businesses or call businesses, just like the marketing group did, but they were specifically looking for people to attend the Roundtable virtual event on March 25th. And for our marketing group, it was basically to focus on finding sponsorships for the roundtable discussion. I did mention for both groups that if they found, like if the marketing group found attendees, which they probably would have, calling a lot of businesses looking for sponsors, usually what would happen is they would have employees that would like to attend the event, wanting to learn more about the business world, and the business realm. So we made it clear that either one of those two could find attendees or sponsors in either one of their ventures, but we had them focus on just those specific topics when they were looking. So next slide. The planning process. Since I was the leader, I did take full responsibility in my group to find the contact information for all the businesses I wanted them to call. I took them straight from the Conway and Myrtle Beach directory, the Myrtle Beach Chamber of Commerce and the Conway Chamber of Commerce. And if I was to give help to another leader in this situation again, I would say not to do that. They're grown, they're grown adults. They can do that. So you can give them the recommendation to do that because it helped a lot. Having the information straight to go to for them. I sent it to them via email or Microsoft Teams, so they would have it as soon. They could open it up and just go straight to it. But like I said, they're grown adults; they can do that. Just give them the recommendation. Definitely, as a leader, give them individual goals for each day, week, and month. That seemed to help our situation a lot. I thought about that about halfway through the event. So once I thought about that, I would say let's raise $250 in a week. If we did that consecutively from the week that I started that, we would have raised around, I think it was like $12,340, just from that week alone, going forward. So definitely have individual goals for each person. And when you meet up in a group, let them know what the goals are. And if they have any questions, they know where to find you at. So definitely, as a leader, be prepared for all foreseeable questions in the future from your group. I think that's what I kind of messed up with as well, was not being prepared for the questions that I received. I did go straight to for our event, Mr. Saxon and Mrs. Brown, for all the questions that we had. They were on the board for each one, teach one. I didn't know all the questions or all the answers to all the questions. And so I would also ask Dr. Schlereth when we did have questions from our group, but definitely be prepared, kind of look into it way more than I did, so that you are prepared for all the questions that could possibly come up. And so you can go straight and tell them, what the facts are. And being full virtual for this project, it was bound to happen that a lot of our team would not understand the processes and what the plan was in the full. And that was a very obvious thing that happened. Was a lot of my team did not understand what exactly we were looking for, what the marketing and sales team was looking for. So if I could give advice to another leader, I would say be very blunt on what you're going to do, what your goals are, what your objectives are, so that your group's not confused, especially if you're full virtual again, which I hope that doesn't happen again. But it was very complicated to have good communication when everyone's not available at the time you are, so you don't see them in class. And just be very straightforward with them when you do see them. And yeah, like I said before, having a daily, weekly, and monthly goal for your group will allow a lot easier path to earning money. So you don't have to rush at the very end of the semester when you're trying to find, just anybody to buy for the event. So I'll just from the very start have a goal. What do I want to achieve every day, week, and month, so that your group, y'all find it a ton easier to do that. What I was basically saying before with communication, this was my biggest, my biggest trouble this semester. I think it was for a few people as well. And it all comes down to communication, because if you as a leader, if you don't communicate well with your group, no one's going to know what to do. No one's going to know how to go about anything in the project. And you are the leader. If you volunteered to be the leader, you got to take on what the leader entails. So I'm just going to give you a few tips to try to help you out. So first off, you definitely want to set the foundation in the meetings. By doing this, you're allowing for a group to see that you're trustworthy, that you're going to do what being a leader says you're going to do. Making goals, like I said before, and ultimately it is up to you to prove that you can be trusted. So if you make goals, make sure you stay on them and you tell them, hey, this was our goal. I don't know why you haven't finished it yet, but you need to get on it. And that was a big thing for me as well. I did not do that. I wasn't on top of it like I should have been. And if you're on top of it, you're getting on them for what they haven't done, which they said they would do. It's on you to get on them for that. And it would have been a lot easier for us if I would have had a weekly or bi-weekly meeting with one-on-one meeting with my group to make sure they one individually would have known what the goals were. I do think the reason the communication was as bad as it was in some of the group meetings that we had was because not many people knew what was going on, and they didn't want to be embarrassed or speak out on something that might have looked bad on their part. So I do understand. As a leader, though, I do think if you have time throughout the semester, definitely schedule a weekly or bi-weekly meeting for your group, you and your group. So from the first day that you do become a leader, this was a troublesome thing for us as well. I went from the start going just straight to Snapchat, which was a terrible idea. And then over time, I went to we went to email, and then we went to Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams was a huge advantage for all of us. You can have individual chats with one another. You can have the whole page, showing what you're talking about, so everyone can see it. Very, very good for all of us to have Microsoft Teams. Email wasn't too bad, but email's all over the place, so it really just depends on how that ends up. And Snapchat, of course, is very unprofessional. You don't want to use that, especially in a project this big. But we did learn that over time with this project. So when it comes to contacting businesses, this is what the whole project boiled down to. This is what we all were trying to do, is contact businesses, and we're doing it to obtain a sponsorship or an attendee for the roundtable event. And what I would recommend for future groups is that you create a script element, which we got from Mr. Saxton, on how to contact businesses, what to say when we contacted the businesses. But in the future, when you get a script element, send it to your group and tell them, and definitely help them personalize it so it's more personal to them when they contact businesses. It doesn't just sound like a sales call. So if you personalize it, businesses are going to recognize that it's close to you, it means something to you, and you have a way bigger chance of actually selling something and getting something out of that. So, and this is something that a leader can go off of as well in the future. Being the leader this time, I've had a ton of marketing and sales experience in the past. It was nothing for me to call businesses and try to obtain sponsors and attendees. But over time in this project, I did realize that it was a lot different for most people in my group, especially knowing that they didn't have the marketing and sales experience that I did. So it's going to be different from me to them. And working with that was a huge learning experience for me, and realizing that it's not as easy for everyone as it is for some people. So really just work with them. The whole process. It ended up working pretty well for us, especially having the script element helped a lot. For them to personalize it, call businesses. There were some people that even took it into the businesses and used the script elements while they were in the business themselves. That works. Just give them something to go off of, make it easier for them. If you did have sales and marketing experience, use the experience that you had, the training that you had to help them out, and it'll make the whole thing a whole lot easier for everyone. And that is it. I hope I could help somebody in the future. I hope it all made sense, and thank you all very much.